We are live. Taking a comfortable seat. And I have been favoring Sukhasana as of late. It's not right, it's not wrong, it just is. So actually, I'm not even sitting in Sukhasana, I'm sitting in Siddhasana, the seat of the adept. So I love the name of this one. It doesn't make me any more adept at anything, but it is one of the meditation postures that is listed in the Yoga Hatha Pradipika, literally light on yoga. Sukhasana, Siddhasana, or Virasana, all three, and lotus pose, Padmasana. Those are the poses listed to sitting in meditation. And all of them, whatever you choose, should be comfortable. The difference between Siddhasana and Sukhasana, which is also cross-legged, in Siddhasana, I'm crossing my ankles very low. Where in Sukhasana, the feet are much further out. I'm creating a triangle, not an M. And I am crossing more at the middle of my shin. So I tend to have to sit higher in this pose. If we bring the feet in too close in Sukhasana, it becomes a very uneven proposition. So we want to feel grounded through the body part that we sit in. And viveka, discernment, the notion of paying attention and trusting your inner voice. Is this right or is this wrong? For me, meaning, does it heal or does it hurt? And sometimes, granted, we don't know. Yoga is not dogma. It's not dogma. Never is meant to be. It is for you through the experience of the practice, whether that is asana, pranayama, meditation. Does it work for you? Does it bring you freedom from suffering? That's that. Boom. So we start with Apana Mudra. Take the thumb to the ring finger and middle finger. I got in trouble with somebody in class yesterday because I said it was the call signal for some Texas sports something. He goes, no, that's a wolf pack. I'm like, sorry, so sorry. This is the mudra for Apana Vayu, Apana Vayu. So yes, you are thumb to middle finger and ring finger. This mudra is a detoxification mudra. It is the downward or outward, ridding, good riddance mudra. So if you have constipation, so think of anything you want to get out, scanty urine, I'm reading right off my book, no sweat. This is it. And because of what it produces in our bodies, also do not teach it to somebody who's pregnant until the last week of the third trimester. So that's straight out of my notes. We don't want any unwanted outward movement. So as you sit, grounding, so Apana downward, this is the earth energy. I invite you to either soften your gaze or close your eyes as you begin to settle into your breath. Breathing in and out through the nose. I invite the belly to relax on the in-breath so that the upper chest stays relatively still. The primary muscles of breathing is the diaphragm and the intercostals, not the intercostals. The intercostals are the muscles between the rib cage. But the primary is your diaphragm. And when that moves down, when that contracts, that's when the belly expands. And if you're not sure, if you're contracting, just place one hand on your belly. And as you breathe in and out, Does the belly expand? And then draws back towards the spine on the out breath. This is the healthiest breathing. But a fun fact, with our mask wearing, we are, it appears en masse, turning into mouth breathers, which causes all kinds of interesting chemical reactions in our bodies. One is that the oxygen and the CO2 exchange becomes uneven. So we feel like we are strangling, we begin to breathe harder, and we begin to do shallow breathing, which in turn tighten the bronchioles, so inside our lungs, making it yet harder to breathe. So remind yourself, nose breathing, belly breathing, belly breathing. To facilitate this outward movement, we will start with Simhasana today, the lion's breath. And we can keep our hands in Apana Mudra to facilitate everything to be roared out. We'll do it 3 times, and I'll describe it here. We'll take a breath in, and then as you exhale, open your mouth wide, stick the tongue out as far as you can, open the eyes wide, and look up at your third eye, the middle of your forehead. Let's do it. Let's take a deep breath in. Take a buffer breath in between. And we do it again. Another buffer breath. So roar it out, whatever it is, get it out of there. See how much better you feel? Now we switch to Udana Mudra by simply taking the index finger and place it on the thumb as well. So only the pinky finger is not invited to the party. Udana Mudra is upward energy. So if you are hitting that slump at the end of the day, help the energy rise up. This mudra is also good for your thyroid. So now we are working right around the throat chakra and all that is involved. And as today's session is for the wellness of our neck, this is the chakra that we will tend to. The element here is space. The color is turquoise. The ability to speak your truth. And to help this area, our inner voice, Brahmari Pranayama is fantastic. One of the best things you can do for your neck is sing, hum. And so Brahmari or Brahmari Pranayama is humming. It is the sound of the female hummingbee. We'll do 6 rounds. Don't worry about pitch. Don't worry about hitting a certain tone or making it sound pretty. Simply keep your jaw relaxed so the teeth are not clenched. Relax jaw. And let's go at it. Let's take a deep breath in. Mm. Pausing, sensing. This pranayama is really powerful, both for anxiety and depression, as it elevates our inner vibration, literally. It also gives that monkey mind a little break. And that vibration that is created literally enhances our physical well-being. What is there not to love? You can do this any time of the day. If you haven't already, I invite you to open your eyes, stretch your fingers out, and let's release the legs out. And just give them a little shake. Just come off my support and shake. And then let's come on to the back. Have your strap nearby, because we're just going to blow through the morning sequence. So as you come onto your back, pause just for a moment as your body is resting on the floor. Is your chin pulling back and your shoulders pulling away from the floor, indicating maybe some tension in the neck and or forward head posture, in which case slide a pillow or blanket under your head so that the shoulders can relax down with ease and that the chin is not pulling away from the chest. On the next in-breath, we'll take the arms up overhead. Draw the legs together. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, stretch. Press out through the heels, spread the toes, spread the fingers, and exhale, relax. If your arms are not resting on the floor, slide them out wider so that they can rest completely and not hovering, because that again will just create tension. We'll do 3 full body stretches. Exert on the out breath. Relax. So the morning sequence is a gift from Adil Pakiwala. One more. Get as long as you can. You are in a handstand or a tall mountain, but without compression from gravity. Now, again, legs together, and we'll do ankle pumping. So take a breath in, and as you exhale, pump the ankles, not the ankles, but they are ankles, but pumping the ankles vigorously. And then pause on the in-breath, and we're getting some nourishment to the root of our tree. And we'll repeat a total of 3 times. Let your head rock along with your ankle pumping so that your whole body benefits from this. With 3 cycles. And then ankle circles. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, circling the ankles. Big circle, same direction. Keeping your legs together. So this is a unileg event. Breath in and exhale, switch the direction. Around and around and around we go. Again, tending to the root of your tree. We'll do 6 times total, 3 in each direction. And as you do ankle circle, is your body rocking back and forth on the mat, following along, helping release the tension in the connective tissue. So the neck health depends greatly on what happens in our feet, legs, pelvis, spine. So we are just starting at the very beginning. And then after the 6 times, let's pause. We don't spend a lot of time with our arms extended up overhead. So the shoulder and neck complex can get really, really jammed in. And remember Engar's funny quote, if you feel a little blue, put some sunshine in your armpit. It helps us breathe better. We breathe better, we feel better. Single knee to chest. Take a breath in, exhale, hug the right knee in, take the chin to the chest. Inhaling, full body stretch. Exhale, left knee hugs in, stretch back out. Moving from side to side. Don't make it hard. It's not about squeezing. It's just a little compression, and then we open back up again. So all of the organs off the lower abdomen, the hips, the lift gets a little squeeze. Moving to the double knee lift. And if the double knee lift is a little much to ask of the spine today, then maybe lifting with bent knees rather than straight legs, or continue with a single knee lift. After 3 double knee lifts, take the knees in again, release the head down, and rock from side to side. Think of this as your tuna. Not as a performance. Let's do some knee circles. That's lubricating the hip joints a little bit, going both directions. And let's release the legs along the floor. Now, if we'd been in class, I would have asked, why is this straight leg twist so good for the neck? So you place your right Achilles tendon between the left big toe and second toe. Wedge it down, good. Take your left hand to the right shoulder. And a breath in, exhale, twist to the left. Did you all answer my question? As you place the left Achilles tendon between the right big toe and second toe, switch your hands and twist. There's a pressure point on the neck of the big toe that corresponds to the neck. They say, those people that have studied this, so I just take their word for it. So when applying gentle pressure here, benefits our cervical spine. If it's comfortable, let your head turn. And we're going to do 6 twists today. So 6 straight leg twists. Exhaling into the twist, inhaling back to center. Flowy and easy. And then when you finish with the 6th one on the left, we'll continue with the bent knee. Place the right on top, right foot on top of the left knee. And again, we're going to do 6 on each side. Inhaling to center, switch legs. Let your nose go opposite of the knees. So rotation of the spine, it is such an important ability to maintain. Your neck and shoulder health depends on it. I do get asked, can I just do 6 bops on one side, move to the other? Well, yeah, you can, but you're missing one of the great benefits of alternating from side to side, which is, to make it sound fancy, cross pattern and dirge. But what it is your left and right brain are going to have to communicate a little bit better. So we keep those portals open so we can access both sides of the brain. After the 6th time, full body stretch. Everything hugs towards the midline. Take your arms down and just pause. How are you feeling? Every system of the body got a little tune-up just by doing this. Now let's get a little bit more into the hips. Take your strap, make a loop, bend up the knees. So I have my loop is about 1.5 feet. That's about the distance from my hands to my heel, where I have no force. So now I can just let my hands just holding onto the strap, to the loop that I created. And always maybe give yourself a little bit more than you think. You don't want to feel squeezed. You don't want to feel squeezed. And we'll take the left leg out long. Now let your pelvis tip forward so that you can get, so the right leg is in the sky, left leg is along the floor. And then tilt the pelvis forward so you can get as much of the back of the left leg on the mat, and then really ground it down. Now hold your left leg on the mat as you tilt your pelvis back to neutral. And the leg goes maybe a little bit straighter up, but the back of the left leg stays well grounded. So, well, I can't see the angle of your knee. Yeah. I bend up your left leg again. Do we get a little bit more length on the right leg? Ish. Take it out a little bit further away so that it might straighten out a little bit more. Staying centered on the sacrum. So this is for everybody. Centered on the sacrum. So you're not tilting either forward to your tailbone or back so that the low back is flattened. Let's do a couple of mindful breaths here. Meaning as you breathe in, let your whole right leg receive the breath. As you breathe out, draw the thigh bone into the socket. Don't forget your left leg still on the job. So the pose we did last week, Parsvottanasana, to the side, forward fold. It's the same pose as we're doing right now, except we're taking gravity out of it. Let's take the left leg up, tuck it under the strap, take the right leg down. And again, tilt the pelvis forward so the tailbone goes a little closer to the ground. Get your right leg well anchored. So it's firm but not rigid. And then without moving the leg, can you tilt the pelvis back so you are a little bit more neutral? What pulls the legs up or the spine up is, yes, you guessed it, them psoas. So we put the right leg in a very healthy position. Let's turn to the left. Inhaling. Let the whole leg expand on the in-breath. As you exhale, let's draw the thigh bone into the socket while you reach up through the left heel. Take another breath in. Reset the pelvis if it moved off a little bit. And again, draw the thigh bone into the socket, but reach out through the heel. Maybe just one more breath. Well, hello, Sally. Good to see you. Let's take the right leg up, tuck it under the strap, take the left leg down again. Easy peasy. Take another breath here. Take the strap into the left hand, right hand to the outer right hip. That's just to help anchor it down so it doesn't swoop up towards the shoulder. Take the leg just across the center line. Can you still sense that your sacrum is neutral? Sacrum is neutral. So you're not rolling onto the side, and you're sensing maybe some excitement on your outer seam of your right leg, pivoting your right foot so the pinky toe faces towards the sky may make this a little bit more interesting. Interesting is not necessarily a good thing. It's maybe just more interesting. We're going to come back to center, switch the strap into the right hand. Take a deep breath in, knee straight, and exhale, take the leg out to the right side. And I like to put my right elbow on the floor. It helps me not go roly-polying, but keeping my spine straight. So left leg and trunk is still in Supta Tadasana, reclined mountain pose. Easy breath, reaching out through the big toe mount while drawing the pinky toe towards the outer hip. And let's inhale all the way up. Take the left leg up under the strap, right leg out. Strap in the right hand, left hand to the outer left hip. It's coming. And take the leg just across. Taking care, again, that your pelvis is neutral. This is a pure hip movement. This is slight rotation, external rotation. So your left knee is looking towards your left shoulder. And then it is adduction, adduction. And I think we're ready to take, oh, did you do the foot pivot? I didn't say foot pivot. So in case she's like, well, is he going to say it? So again, check that your knee is not bending. If your knee is bending, you're not getting the iliotibia because it crosses over the knee joint. Sneaky little booger. We'll take it up, switch hands. Right arm up to the side, centering on the sacrum. So firm right leg. And on your next out breath, slowly release out. So this is, again, it's rotation, check, but it is also abduction, abduction. We want flexibility with stability. Stability with flexibility. Let's take one more breath. And inhale all the way up. And release down. And pause. And now from here, let's bend the knees, roll over onto one side, And we come into tabletop. So move your strap just to the top of your mat. You're going to use it again in just a moment. As you come into tabletop, a little redo from last week with protraction and retraction of the shoulders. So retraction, let the sternum draw towards the ground as the shoulder blades draws together. And then lift the sternum up, shoulder blades are spreading. Go back and forth a couple of times. The retraction we often use for the back bends, except for full wheel pose, and we take the arms over the head. The protraction, anytime the shoulders are over the head, is the happiest place. So as you now protract the shoulders, tuck the toes under, and we lift up into downward facing dog. Or forearms, Margie, good call. Shoulder action is the exact same whether you're on your forearms or on your hands. Take your dog for a walk. Let the head hang. Head gets very few opportunities to suspend gravity. One of the great benefits of our inversions, handstand and the feather of the peacock, Pincha Mayurasana. Are you wiggling your dog around, taking it for a little fun time, for a play date? And then let's lift the heels high, bend the knees, lift the hips up. Knees are bent, so we took the hamstrings out. Now hug the shoulders in towards one another. So stabilize the shoulder joint and keep the shoulder blades wide. And then we'll look up on the inhalation and walk to the front. Let's take the hands to the hips, bend the knees, and feel a little bit better on the spine, and inhale, spike the heels, come all the way up. So far, so good. Now take your strap. I'm going to stand back here so you can see me. And do a loop that's about a leg length. So from your greater trochanter, the bump on your outer hip, to your ankle bone. Maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter, but that's a good guesstimate. So this is the little helper to release the tightness of the pec minors. Forward head posture and neck thingies happens often because we just begin to collapse in the upper chest. So the pec minors that run vertical, they begin to pull the shoulders forward, and then the pec majors that run horizontal, they pull the shoulders forward. Now it's just a big old mess. So when we do this pose, step into the strap from the back. Some of you have had this several times this week already. I know it is so good. So with the feet together, hands behind, let's draw the shoulders back as far as they will go. And then straighten the knees and let the strap do the rest. Notice how much space there is in the neck. Breathing in and breathing out. As you breathe in, lift the sternum up. Lift the crown of the head. As you breathe out, ground the heels and invite the shoulder blades to go down maybe a little bit further. Take one more breath. Lifting upward on the in-breath. And then grounding the back body on the out-breath. Now let go of the strap, just let it drop. And then stand. Here's your mountain pose. Thing is, we kind of forget as the day goes on, are we using computers and whatnot, phones, there we are again. But at least we have a way to get there regularly. Let's take off locks, place them on the mat. because we got sun salutation to tend to. So blocks or chair. And now pretend that you are still holding the strap as you stand in mountain pose. And stand right between your blocks, if you can. So allow yourself to bend your knees to reach down. Inhale, draw the arms out and up, reaching up. And exhale, swan dive down, bending the knees as needed. Forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold, flatten the back, and let's step the right leg back, way back. Take the knee down. And then inhale, pressing the hands down into the blocks gently, and lift the heart. So we're getting a little bit of hip flexor event on the right. Now let's move the blocks out of the way as we shimmer, shimmer, shimmer the foot back to downward facing dog or dolphin arms again or tabletop. Inhaling forward to plank pose. Shoulders are protracted. Take the knees down. Tops of the feet comes onto the mat and then lift up into tall cobra. And maybe lift the knees. And draw back to downward facing dog. Look up on the in-breath. As you exhale, step. Right foot up. Take your blocks back. Left knee down. And then inhale, lift the heart. Getting again a little bit more length on the left front hip. Now with the toes tucked on, this little bump of the back knees will just propel you right up to the top of the mat. And then inhale, bending the knees, sweep the arms out and up. Ground the heels and take the hands back down, Tadasana. That went really well. Let's repeat. Inhale, take the arms out and up. And exhale, all the way down again. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, left leg leads way back. This time, we're going to keep the back leg up. So make it really committed to the job. Muscle wrapping around bone. Walk your hands to your right knee or keep your hands on the blocks if that feels better. From here, maybe take the hands to the sky. Lifting up, lifting up, lifting up, lifting up, lifting up. Letting the ribs lift as far away from the hips as possible. Let's take the hands down. And take the, I was going to say, mosey the right foot back to the left. Inhale forward to plank pose again. So plank is just horizontal mountain pose, right? Does it feel like that? Ish. Let's take the knees down again. Tops of the feet. Lift the heart. Maybe the knees. And draw back. Downward facing dog. Looking up on the in-breath. And invite your left foot up to the top of the mat. Let's put the blocks back on. It's nice to have blocks. And again, firm back leg. Very firm back leg. Muscle to bone. Knee is straight. Now lengthen the crown of the head away from the back heel. Again, your body here is essentially back in mountain pose. If you were to take your hands down, boom. Does it feel like mountain pose? Woo-hoo. So now we're gonna add more of a back bend as we take the hands maybe to the knee. More hip flexor bend. So the front knee now is over the ankle. Back leg is strong. And let's take the hands to the sky. Reaching up. Or keep them on the knee or on the blocks. It's wherever it works best for you today. Creating lift, creating length. And we'll take the hands down. Move the blocks out of the way. Step back to downward facing dog. Take the knees down. And then take a wide knee child's pose. Wide knee child's pose. Let your forehead rest on a block or arms or floor. Letting the back body receive the breath. And then coming up, walk the hands in, take the knees together. So we're going to come into kneeling. Interlace your finger, place them behind the head. Draw the elbows forward. So the fingers are, the pinky fingers are snuzzled right up under your skull. Right up under your skull. So we're creating a little traction event here. Now inhaling, begin to take the head back into camel pose and squeeze your fingers with the head. And inhale back up. This is where great Mr. Brown says that this doesn't hurt your fingers a little bit. You're not doing it enough. So that's his words. I'm going to let you be the judge. Keep the elbows drawing forward, so shoulder blades are spread. Your glutes, of course, are helping out. This is a back bend, right? So the tailbone is drawing down towards the knees. And again, drawing back, lifting the sternum up, elbows reaches up, and the head draws back and makes firm contact with the fingers. And inhaling up. I know, this is going to feel good to do a dog after this little event. Hands or forearms. Let's stretch back. Let the head hang. Breathing in, breathing out. Each out breath, the head hangs a little bit lower. One more breath. And take the knees down again. And come onto your back body. Have a block nearby. But we'll visit with bridge first. Bridge is like Old Yeller. Whether it's a favorite dog name or the geyser. But you just can't go wrong. Feet hip width apart. Let's lift and spread the toes to make sure that we have connection. Big toe mount, spread across to the pinky toe mount, inner and outer heel. And you can sort of squint down and see, yep, my knees are about hip width apart. My feet about hip width apart. So let's inhale and lift the hips by halfway. Roll the shoulders under a wee bit more. Maybe interlace the fingers. Straightening the elbows. And if the elbows doesn't straighten and the fingers don't come onto the mat, then release the clasp and either use a strap or hold on to the mat, or just bend the elbows. You can press the back of the shoulders down. Let's lift a little bit higher, feet presses down, back of the shoulders is a grounding part. The head is light, and the neck is neutral, completely neutral. Lift the hips, lift, 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 lift. And relax the arms, slowly lower down. So far, so good. That's worth repeating. When you're ready, inhale about halfway up, rolling the shoulders under, interlace the fingers, or strap, or bend elbows. It is whatever feels good for you, but keep everything in snug in the back of the shoulder, drawing down so that we get the width across the pec majors. And then we lift, and we lift, and we lift. Feet, ground, facilitates the lift. Shoulders, grounds, facilitates the lift. But the gaze is soft, the jaw is soft. Inviting the back of the neck to lengthen a little bit further. And let's exhale, relax the hands if they are clasped, and come on down. And relax. Giving yourself a few breaths after bridge pose so that the spinal muscles can just get a moment to adjust. And then let's take the knees in and rock from side to side. And take the legs to the sky. Take the arms to the sky. I'm going to shake everything out. Have a little temper tantrum. When was the last time you had a temper tantrum? No. And let's hug the knees in again. And take the feet to the mat. Take your block and place it on the second highest level. So the edge of the block is going to be right under the skull, so I can get into some of this tissue. Now, if you've had neck fusion, always adhere to your doctor's advice. That goes with anything, not just neck fusions, anything. That you are in the driver's seat. Don't ever forget that. Now, starting at center, feeling that just gentle traction off the neck. Take a shallow breath, so a heaver, heave the chest up. And exhale, relax the shoulders down. So that's what I talked about in the beginner class. These are the secondary breaths. Could you feel your neck was engaging to heave? Let's do it again. And then exhale, everything relaxes down a little bit further. Now slowly turn the head to the right, rolling right along the edge of the block. And you'll travel over some ropey business. Travel back over the ropey business. That's both your upper trapezius, so attached to the skull. It's also your sternocleidomastoid, STM. It's that big ropey dude. at the side of your neck. That muscle, if we have a forward head posture, gets shortened and tight. The trapezius is too long, so they overlock. Now stay not right on the ropiness, maybe right past it. And let's do another heaving breath. And relax. Shoulders down. Can you drop them down a little bit lower? Let's do that again. Healing. And relax down. Let's slowly roll to the other side. Rolling now, following the rim on the left side. And don't force, don't push. Rolling over the ropey business and maybe back again. Just a little bit of massage. Rolling again. And then right at the other side, so you're not right on the muscles. I think that'd be really intense. We're going to do another heaving breath. And one more. Shallow breath. Rolling back to neutral. Now you're going to take one hand to your neck, and that's going to be your head support. The other hand will remove the block. So we don't want to go ka-clunk. We want to put the head down as it was the daintiest of china. So move the block out, and then very, very, very gently place the head down. These muscles of the neck, it is a part of our sympathetic nervous system activators. So they are easily turned on to high alert. We want to avoid that as we now bank this new length with isometrics. So anytime you do anything like this with the neck, you really want to bookend it with isometrics. Let's take left hand to the left temple. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, pretend to rotate. So you're going to look over your left shoulder. Of course, your head is not going anywhere because the left hand is right there to meet it. Relax as you breathe in. And you're going to repeat this 2 more times, pressing on the out breath, isometric. So the muscles are engaging, but we don't want to move the neck quite yet. We're going to go through all the 8 movement patterns from the left temple. Let's move to the right temple. And as you exhale, press the head into the right hand as if you're going to look, turn the head and look over your shoulder. And then relax. And repeat. Relax. One more time. Exhale. And then take your left hand back again to the temple. Instead of rotating, we're now going to do the lateral. So as if you're going to place your left ear on your left shoulder. This is a side bend. Different muscle among those, the secondary breather dudes, the scalenes, the sternocleidomastoid. 3 exhalation. Press the hand in, head into the hand right back at the same intensity, so that the head does not move. Both sides. If you wake up with a kink in the neck, you can't turn over the shoulder to look what traffic is coming, then these isometrics are really beneficial to get the muscle to reactivate. You don't want to just start stretching a muscle that's locked down. It's going to get really upset with you and you ain't going to win. If you don't believe me, just go for it, but I say do this first. Now, after the lateral, take the palm, there it comes, the heel of the hand to your forehead. And then pretend you're gonna look down your shirt to see if you got some pasta sauce on it. I think I've yet to master eating pasta without getting it on my shirt. Looking down as you exhale, feel the front of the neck, your flexors engaging. With a forward head posture, these are overstretched. They're too long, they lost tone. And then last, you're going to be looking up, and you can hold your chin down as you move as is to look back. If you were standing out, you looked up to the sky, so you feel the back of the neck is engaging. Your extensors, the ones that we help get a little bit more space when we did the camel with the interlacing of the fingers. And then after this one, relax your arms down, straightening the legs out. Maybe turn your head a little bit from side to side and just feel, how does the neck feel? Let go of all effort. Breathing as if you were a hollow bamboo. The air, the prana, flows completely unrestricted back and forth. Now gently allow your breath to deepen. Wiggling fingers and toes. Bend up the knees. And rock the knees gently from side to side. This just begins to prepare the spine for movement. And eventually let the momentum roll you all the way over onto one side. As you come to rest on your side, you know we're preparing to transition. Doing it mindfully so that you don't lead with the nose, meaning the ego popping up like a jack in the box. Use your hands to push yourself away from the floor, arms and hands. Let your gaze be down. Once you are up seated, raise the head up. So that we use the bigger muscle groups to support the neck. And it just floats along effortlessly. We will close with 3 ohms. As I said in the beginning, humming, chanting, singing is one of the most wonderful things we can do for the health of our neck, both physically, but also emotionally. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, bow your head towards your heart. The servant towards the master. Drawing the gaze up. Namaste.